Good day, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of our General Surveying 1 lecture series. So in this presentation, I am going to introduce you what is a surveying, define surveying, I'll discuss a brief history and its principles. Alright, I'll be again your instructor in this subject. So that is me on the picture. So you can stalk my FB account if you want. And see you soon next year, hopefully. So again, let's start. So the topic objective of these subjects we have here, at the end of this lecture, you should be able to, number one, define what is a surveying, know the history and the function of a GE in the community, distinguish the two types of surveys, and apply the basic principles, what they're going to discuss in the future studies, understand the concept of error, you have the mistake, precision, and accuracy. Okay, let's start with the concept. So, I have here a presentation to give you idea kung ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga surveyor or ng mga GE. So, ano yung gagawin mo in the future. So, example, meron tayong client. Si client natin ay pangalan niya ay si Mr. Bean. Meron siyang, nagmamay-ari siya ng isang lupa. So, itong lupa na to, hindi niya alam gaano kalaki. So, ang ginawa niya, tumawag siya ng isang geodetic engineer. So, geodetic engineer naman, sabi niya, sige, susukatin ko yung lupa mo in exchange of some cash. Kasi dito tayo kumukuha ng pambili ng pagkain. Yan. After doon, si GE, uuwi siya sa kanyang office. Anong gagawin niya sa office? So, he is going to draw the area of Mr. Bean. So, gagawa siya ng mapa. So, ayan, tadan! So, ito na yung example ng mapa o ng lupa ni Mr. Bean. So, para ma-sure kung tama ba yung ginawang measurement ni Mr. Bean, ang gagawin niya, ibibigay niya yung kanyang mapa kay concerned government agency. Ito yung example, si DNR. So, dun siya ipapacheck, ipapa-verify niya yung nagawa niyang mapa, and then, kung okay na, so, sabi ni government office, okay na, approve na yung mapa mo. So, you can give that a copy of the map na kay Mr. Bean, yung mapa mo naka-indicate kung gaano kalaki yung area niya at kung saan yung area niya. So, in exchange of, again, this one. So, may pambili ka ng pagkain. So, this is the, to give you idea lang of what is a surveyor do on the field. So, ano yung ginagawa niya? So, hindi lang tayo doon sa field, including also the office works. We also do a office work. Okay. Pwede namang magsimula. Okay, let's start with the definition of surveying. So, ito yung pinaka-oldest art practiced by man. So, as technical term, when we say surveying, it's in an art, again, and science of measuring the surface of the earth. So, nagme-measure tayo. And the position of features on, above, or below the earth's surface. So, nagde-determine din tayo ng location or position ng mga objects within the surface of the earth, either above also, yung mga, for example, yung position ng mga satellite with respect to the surface of the earth. When we say below, for example, yung mga underground mining survey. We have also, for example, pag gumagawa tayo ng bathymetric map o yung minamapa natin yung sea floor. So, we can also do that. So, in surveying also, yung ating pinaka-output ay tinatawag na map o ito yung mapa. Either computer-based map or digital or pwede naman yung analog. So, these are the output of surveying. So, yung na-measure natin na measure natin na mga distance and areas, so we can present them in a form of a map or a plan. Okay? So, in today's surveying is called as geomatic. So, the role of surveyor widen, including the methods of acquiring the special data. So, medyo nag-expand na yung term na surveying. Yung una, yung surveying, ito yung determining lang ng posisyon ng points within, on, below, or above the surface of the Earth. So, nagiging mas nag-change na rapidly yung ating technology, industrialization, so yung mga techniques and land management, nag-change din siya. So, yung surveying na term is ngayon tinatawag na siyang geomatics. Tinatawag siya na geomatics dahil we have here rapidly changing and expanding world of land information management. So, uh, nagiging broader na yung ating coverage ng surveying. So, hindi lang sa pagsusukat ng lupa. We have here also, for example, sa ating definition, we have the satellite positioning. Ito, for example, we have the satellite positioning. So, when we say satellite positioning, we are going to determine position of satellite with respect to the Earth, or we gather data from a satellite. So we can make from that data, we can make a maps. We have also here photogrammetry. We take a picture on the surface of the earth using the airplane and a camera attached to that airplane. So we can take a picture on the ground so that we can make a map or a plan out of that picture. So, we have here another definition. So, mas broader yung modern definition ng geomatics. Determining the angular, we have the angular and linear measurement to establish the form of extent and relative position ng points, either points, lines, and areas on or near the surface of the Earth. And meron pa tayong additional and other extraterrestrial bodies. For example, yung extraterrestrial bodies, example, yung the other planets, position ng other planets with respect to the Earth, position ng Moon or the Sun with respect to the Earth. We have here extraterrestrial other bodies. We have also the satellite. So, with the use of specialized equipment and techniques. So, marami na tayong nagagamit ng mga instrument that can use in measuring or observation on these bodies. So again, another, we have here the science concerned the measurement, representation, analysis, management, and retrieval and display of spatial information. So medyo na-compressed yung definition kanina. So measurement, yung pagsusukat mismo ng mga angle, distance, representation, ito yung paggawa natin example ng maps. Analysis, yung iniintindi natin kung ano yung nakalagay sa mapa. And management, ito yung, for example, ano ba yung gagawin natin sa nakita natin sa mapa? For example, gumagawa tayo ng mga land use map, gumatawa tayo ng mga kung ano-anong mga maps na pwedeng gamitin for information, to provide information. So, I am going to show you what is the product of the property survey. For example, ito yun, for in the right side, ito yung example is transfer certificate of title. Ito yung tinatawag nating titulo. So, after tayo magsa-survey, ito yung one of the requirements for the owner to claim their rights on their land. So, magpapagawa sila ng titulo. Ito yun sa right side. And sa left side naman, we have here, at the bottom part, we have the real world. Imagine. So, yung geomatics, kaya natin gumawa ng mga land use map, in which na-determine natin kung anong gamit ng lupa. We have here, for example, for vegetation, for the bare land. Meron tayong mga vegetation ditong banda. Here, meron tayong mga bare land. So, if you encounter this type of map, so ito yung tinatawag na mga land use map. You have here the water. Ito na area na to. You have water use. So, anong gamit ng lupa dun sa actual na area? So, we can also have elevation. Ito yung third map. Sa elevation map. So, ito yung red, yellow, red, orange, red, green, and blue, and white. So, ito yung pinaka lower portion. Ito yung white. It is somewhere here. And pinaka higher yung elevation, na naka-legend as yellow, yung pinaka-top niya. So, this is an example of representing a real word into an elevation map or a topographic map. Pwede rin yung parcel. Ito yon, yung this one, the fourth one. Yung parcel, yung tig-isa-isang property or lote ng mga tao or ng mga clients. Ito yon, so per block. So we have here streets. Kung ano yung nakikita, for example, yung nakikita nyo sa Google Maps, yung mga street maps. You can also have the customers, yung may mga mapa na nag-i-indicate ng location ng mga business, yung ng location ng mga tao. So, for example, location mo kung asan ka. So, we can, that is how vast Agiomatics would be. So, ang daming application, ang daming uses ng mga maps na pinoproduce natin. Okay? So, we are not limited only to the parcel. So, we have here also, we have the great role in, for example, for a road projects. So, the position of proposed construction or engineering works are set out on the ground. So, tayo nang set out ng ground. Tayo yung nagse-survey or nagle-layout. So, after the layout, doon na pumapasok yung construction ng mismong kalsada. So, tayo yung nag-uuna, tayo yung nagdadala ng direction ng project. Okay, let's begin with the history of the surveying from where it started. Okay. So, ito yung nakikita nyo. Sila yung tinatawag nating mga cordmen or they are the Egyptians. So, cordmen ang tawag sila where stretching their measuring cord or ito yung rope plated palm strip while surveying in the field of corn. Ito yung ginagamit nila pag survey ng corn. However, yearly, doon sa Nile River, which is found on the Egypt, nagpa-flood siya every year. So, ang nangyayari, yung mga boundaries na na-set out nila is study destroyed. So, they found out that they are going to set out the boundaries again. So, they are the one who used the surveying method. So, ang ginagamit nila pag-measure is, they measure the distance accurately with equally spaced knots tied in long rope. So, yung equally spaced lang, gumagamit lang sila ng mga lubid. So, here, this is the picture of the pyramid. So, gamit lang nila is mga ropes in constructing a pyramid. So, you use the cubit or the length of the man's forearm. So kung ano yung length ng from the tip of your hand until sa elbow mo, that is a 1 cubit. So, ito yung standard measurement ng mga Egyptians. So, the Egyptian could determine the areas and calculate the volume of objects, including the pyramid, and were among the first people to survey the land. We have also here the Romans. For the Romans, they used the chain surveying and fixing the boundaries, setting new cities, aqueduct, roads. So, they are called the agrimensores. So, sa Gromea, ito yung ginagamit nilang instrument. Consisted ng 2 pairs ng plumb line. When we say plumb line, ito yon. Ito. This is the plumb line. So, 2 pairs, including 4. Ito yung ginagamit nila to suspended from the end of the rods. 2 horizontal rods placed at the right angle to each other to lay out line at the right angle. So, pag layout ng boundaries ng lupa, so tinitingnan lang dito, since wala pa silang theodolite, wala pa silang total station. So, ito yung ginagamit nila to lay out ng mga straight lines. So, we have here the Sumerians. So, they studied the movement of the planet and stars, and as mathematicians, established the 360-degree circle. So, they have the first to have a system on land ownership. So, in this time of the Sumerians, we have here moving a boundary marker, for example, a mohon, placed by a surveyor was punishable by death. So, during this time. So, I have here the Chinese. So, for the Chinese, so they knew the value of the lodestone. So, they are one who invented the compass. So, they possess some form of magnetic compass. Sila yung unang gumagamit ng mga compass, yung ating mga Chinese. Now here, the Arabs. So, were aided by the compass in charting the coastline of those countries that they visited. So, gumagamit sila ng, we have here the astrolabe. The astrolabe is historically used by the astronomers and navigators to measure either the altitude above the horizon and the celestial body. So, either day, pwede siyang gamitin sa aga or sa gabi. It can be used to identify the stars or planets, to determine the local latitude of the given local time. Ginagamit din siya to survey or to triangulate. So, we have here. So, we are for the Europeans. So, ginagamit nila is a plain table. So, here, as you can see, you have here the instrument used. Ito yung plain table. The principle of the graphic triangulation and intersection was practiced by the surveyors in the England. Alright, I have your additional information on the history, the important matters. So, we have the Greek, who are the thinkers, developed the science of geometry. Heron, that stands out for prominently for applying the science to surveying. Jupiter, ito yung pinakaunang instrument na ginagamit in surveying. We have the Codex Assyrianus. So, the 6th century, ito yung manuscript surveying as practiced by the Romans. Kung ano yung pinapractice ng Romans, sinusulat nito sa Codex Assyrianus. Ito naman si Practica Geometria. Para siyang libro in which sinusulat doon yung instructions on surveying. So, paano ginagawa yung survey. So, noon yun. So, we have the present. So, the 20th century, we have now most advanced equipment. We have, we're going to satellite. We are boasting connections. We have new technologies. We're using the drones, etc. So, I'm going to present to you what are the instruments being used at the present or the techniques being used at the present. So today, as you can see in the picture, we are using the advanced instrument. Ito yung use ng, ito yung tinatawag na real-time kinematic instrument or yung RTK. So, ang ginagamit lang yan, nagsisense lang siya ng signal from the satellite. So, and the satellite sends signals back here and we can determine the location of the position on the surface of the Earth by the use of triangulation method. So later we're going to discuss what is a triangulation. We have here another illustration. So when I was in my training, so I am here in Cebu. So I have here my part-time job when I was a student here in Ormoc. So some of the information. So this instrument is called a total station. This one is a theodolite. This one also is called a handheld GPS instrument. So you will meet them next year as we go on in a face-to-face classes. Another illustration. So here are some of my works of when I was in student. So with my boss when I was employed in the Department of Public Works and Highways in Region 8. That was before. So we have here the latest technologies that being used. We have here an illustration of a drone and a satellite mapping. So yung product niya, pwede tayong gumawa ng mga 3D models, pwede tayong gumagawa ng mga street maps. We have here presentation on the surface of the Earth. So that we can analyze the features that we can obtain from the photo. So ito yung tinatawag natin na photogrammetry. Yan. Okay, some of you are curious of what instrument are going to use on the class if you are having a face-to-face. We have available total station instruments. We have here the leveling instruments. So we have different instruments found on the campus. So you can use this instrument as we go on face-to-face classes soon, next year maybe. So, these are my students last year. In this course, we assure you na hindi kayo mabubore. So, ito yung example. Nagkanda kami ng hydrographic surveys dyan sa, sa Dulag. So, we map a certain river found on this area here. So, 3 days camp kami dito with my students. So, I hope we can do this on the next year as you go on the kung mo lang magsi-shift, so we can conduct this one as we go on to the next year. So this will be the end of presentation. So the next presentation, we're going to discuss what are the types of survey and the principle of surveys. Okay?